Hi, NIDHI GOSWAMI warmly welcome you to my YouTube channel Beyond Mind. Have you ever come across a situation where you really adored someone for their personality and looks, but when you actually spoke to them, your perception about them changed? Or have you ever misjudged someone based on their looks or personality, but when you actually spoke to them and got to know them, you found out how wrong you were? Well, that's the power of words. We talk to hundreds of people every day. Thus, we take talking very casually. But we don't know the impact of each and every person's words we have on our mind, be it positive or negative. If we observe carefully, you'll find out that only 10% of the problems we attract in our life is because of what we spoke, and 90% of them are because of how we spoke. The words we choose, the manner and our tone of speaking shows a true reflection of our personality. A Sanskrit Subhashit beautifully states an example of a crow and a quail bird who are exactly same in color, who live on the same tree and have the exact same living situation, and there is no difference between them. But when the spring arrives and both of them start chirping and singing, you actually get to know the difference between them. Once, there was a blind sage who was meditating in a forest when one of the king's guard came and approached the sage for direction, but in a very rude and disrespectful manner. But the sage politely guided him towards the right direction. Later, one of the king's manager approached the sage with respectful words, but in a very casual manner. But the sage again guided him towards the right direction. After some time, the king himself approached the sage. He touched his feet, took his blessings, and in a very respectful manner asked for the direction. The sage guided him. Later, one man came looking for the king and his men and approached the sage. The sage guided him towards the direction. The king's guard, the king's manager, and the king himself. The man was surprised and asked the sage, "How were you able to distinguish between them if you are blind?" The sage replied that I was able to distinguish between them based on their tone, their way of talking, and the words they chose. Just like any performer rehearses right before their performance, similarly, we must rehearse before we speak, as when we speak to someone, we present them a piece of our mind. Thus, we must make sure we present them the best we can, as we all have at least one moment in our life that we regret something we said or the way we spoke, and we keep trying to cover it up, but we can't, because our words are like spilled water. No matter how hard you try, it can't go back to the way it was. We have damaged so many friendships and relationships in our life just because of the way we said something, or the way we reacted, or the words we chose. And now, when we look back and wonder how different things would have been if I had said things differently, or I had reacted differently, or I had chosen different words. But we can't do anything about it now. Even The main cause of the entire Mahabharata war was just a sentence uttered by Draupadi to Duryodhana. A blind man's son is blind, which hurt him so much that it led to the hostile war of Mahabharata. If I ask you, which is the most deadliest and the sharpest weapon on earth, some would say a bullet, a sword, a knife, or even an arrow. But if you ask me, I would say words. Because no matter how deep the wound is you get from all the other weapons, it heals. It heals with time, no matter how deep it is, but it does heal. But the wounds you get by someone's words, they don't heal. They stay with you forever and ever. When we invite someone for dinner or lunch, we make sure we present them the best food we can, or something that really suits our taste as well, or something we would like to taste as well. Similarly, when we talk to someone, we must make sure we present them and we serve them the best choice of words, or something that would even suit you when chosen for you. So think, reflect, analyze, and then speak.